You really gotta like something to like go through pain just to experience it. And that's exactly what I did when I wore these uncomfortable ass Jordan 1s just to see this movie, dog. To keep it short and sweet, this is the best movie I've ever seen, plain and simple. Across the Spider-Verse is a love letter to anybody that loves any form of Spider-Man media. Whether you play the Spider-Man game, watch any of the numerous Spider-Man movies or his numerous TV shows, Across the Spider-Verse is guaranteed to have something that you can appreciate 1,000%. In all seriousness, my nigga, we live in an age where numerous forms of fictional media have mastered achieving this damn, that was the best shit I've ever seen, played, or read type feeling. Like, they've mastered that. Across the Spider-Verse definitely hit me after the credits started rolling. I was like, man, this shit is crazy. Across the Spider-Verse was honestly perfect in my opinion. I came into this movie with some pretty high expectations going into the movie because, I thought Into the Spider-Verse was the best movie I've ever watched. So the expectations couldn't get any higher than this. And my nigga, Across the Spider-Verse demolished them shits. We're gonna do a spoiler-free review. I'm gonna talk extremely vaguely about the plot and the characters so you can experience this greatness for yourself. I don't want to spoil anything. So, no, we do things right here. We start off with the story. The plot in this movie is exactly what we all wanted it to be. After watching Into the Spider-Verse, I know a lot of us were sitting around theorizing about what the next steps could be. I know that all the theorizing led us to predict that they were going to eventually really show us damn near endless possibilities and really show us how many Spider-Mans are out there in the verse. All the different universes and comics that Marvel has and comics for these said universes, they had a lot they could have did with this. Like a whole lot. Well, I have great news. I have really great news. Them niggas over there at Marvel and Sony was definitely picking up what we was putting down. Cause man, we see a lot of Spider-Mans that are all actually real, that's not made up, and they're all fleshed out. They all have some kind of significance to them. It's kind of crazy. The story itself, the plot itself, is kind of unexpected too. It's not obvious. It's not as obvious as I thought it was gonna be. It wasn't a direction that I thought they were gonna go in, but they made it super interesting, and the writing in this shit is perfect. Speaking of writing, this is probably the funniest Spider-Man movie out there. This movie is funny as hell. I mean, you damn near gonna laugh every 5 minutes type funny. This is how funny this shit is. The writing is so perfect in this shit. It doesn't feel forced at all. It's goofy as hell, but it still keeps and highlights its serious undertones during the serious moments. The story overall is amazing, and it features some really raw and creative shit at the end that's gonna leave you mad as hell. I ain't gonna catch it. It's gonna leave you mad as hell. I ain't gonna say shit. All I'm gonna say is see you next year, my nigga. See you next year. Now, let's move on to characters and character interactions. The character writing and interactions are phenomenal in this movie. All the conversations in this film are really perfectly done. Miles gets turned up to 1,000. This nigga is hilarious in this movie, gang. You gonna love every moment that homie is on the screen, guaranteed. And he's older in this movie, so his writing really reflects that too. He's less awkward, he's more comfortable with himself, and they didn't even change his best aspect. Him being super relatable. He's still the same in that aspect. You cherish a lot from his dialogue when you watch this movie. From his combos with his parents to his interactions with other Spider-Man. It's really crazy how well Miles is written. The character writing in this movie is super charming and ultra fun. And you're pretty much gonna love every character interaction in this film. Marvel got the comedy down packed for real. This movie's characters are really different, and they really mesh well. Good work on the characters in this shit, man. Super impressive. Thank you. Now, let's move on to looks, presentation, and music. Now, Into the Spider-Verse was a really good fucking looking movie, dog. They turned the heat up in Across the Spider-Verse. You can see why this movie took 5 years to make. There are so many flashy ass animation for these super clean and beautiful ass action sequences. This deals with the multiverse and different Spider-Man. So there's so many art styles that these Spider-Man are in, and they mix it in with the real world, and they had these moments where the frames are super flashy and artistic and shit. Man, I'm telling you, this shit is jaw-dropping. This shit is super impressive. How good this looks is insane. And you can arguably say that this looks better than the MCU films. And that's saying some shit, because every movie that's around Doctor Strange has some crazy and creative ass visuals. This is the best looking animated movie I've ever seen, easily. And that music, gang. That music, gang. The actual score in this movie without the Metro album is already good. But man, Metro did his shit. So I listened to the soundtrack of this movie yesterday, when it dropped. And I'm not gonna lie, I was super impressed with this body of work. So I was impressed to the point, like, by the time that I watched this movie, which has been a day ago, I've listened to this album about 6 times now. So yeah, I was in the movie theater, like, singing along to these songs as they came on. Like, I was that nigga. The best songs on here are the Coil Ray song, which is really a really perfect placement of it in this movie. The outro song with Nav and A Boogie on it. I love the dancehall tracks. The songs with Uzi Fire too. Bro, just listen to the whole shit. Listen to the whole project, man. The music in this movie was phenomenal. Overall, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is probably the best Spider-Man movie ever, to put it simply. It's funny how Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best movies I've ever watched, and now watching this is also one of the best movies I've ever watched. This is a movie that I'll go see 1,000%. I'll go see this again with no problem. This is a one-of-one experience that you're not gonna get anywhere else. So if you haven't watched the first movie, gang, hurry your ass up. Like, for real. And the next time your ass step into a movie theater, your ass better be going to see Across the Spider-Verse. But that's all for me, gang, man. As always, man, have a great day. Peace.
But sometimes we seem to disagree. Pray that you protect her and increase my sympathy. I'm a mini you, one day I'll have a mini me. I'm your son, I shouldn't treat you like an enemy. I get annoyed when you point out all my